they're asking me that question, and I'm like, do I look like a druggie to you? Are my fingers stains,
Yeah.
It's like, but, I just laugh because I'm going, no.
Even the language they use. Have you been smoking pot? That's hippie language. That's not correct language for discussing, how an elder uses cannabinoids to feel better.
Yes.
Effective use of an alternative therapy. They weren't even looking at, alternative therapy. They just want to know if you're getting high.
Honey knows, yeah, honey shows what it means to lead when the medicine grows with grace and grit and truth as her guide. She's the queen of the green with nothing to hide. Oh, honey knows.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cannabis Truth Podcast again. I'm so thrilled that you're here, and I've got a darling friend, Diane Carbo, who is joining us today to talk about, just all things womaning and alternative medicines like you're used to hearing about on this program. And she's got a whopper of some stories to tell. So I can't wait for you to meet our darling Diane. Hi, love. How are you?
Oh, fine, honey. Thanks for having me. I got goosebumps when you're introducing me because, I'm 73 years old. I am the founder of caregiverrelief.com, and I support seniors to remain in their homes, and I support their family caregivers as they navigate the medical delivery system. And having been a nurse, I never did drugs. I just, First of all, I'm an adult child of an alcoholic, so I am the 1 in 4 that didn't drink. I mean, I don't mind a social drink, I'm not snooty patootie about that stuff. And there were times, and there's still times when I would really like a knock me on my ass drink.
I hear you, girl.
But, I had to be the responsible adult. My mom died when I was young, so I helped with my siblings, 4 siblings, so 3 siblings. So, life got in the way of me being adventuresome in different ways. And so I have to tell you about my introduction into the world of cannabis and alternative treatments.
How did that happen?
I want to tell you about my son. My son, Casey, opened a ketamine clinic in New Hampshire. And this was right as COVID hit.
The dreaded COVID.
2019, the end of 2019.
Yes. And the story of reason why Casey started a ketamine clinic is my oldest son was a Korean linguist. Both boys served in the military. Casey was a grunt. He chose that. Jeff chose to be a Korean linguist, and both boys are really smart. Casey wanted to play G.I. Joe. Jeff didn't want to play G.I. Joe so much. Anyway, he developed a serious pain condition. And at that time, this is 15 years ago. He's been dead 15 years now. But when I was going through this, I had been working at Hahnemann as a nurse liaison for a home care company. And I would go to Hahnemann Hospital. And this was decades ago. And I learned about a doctor there that was doing ketamine comas in Germany for the condition Jeff developed. So again, it wasn't FDA approved, and I fought so hard to get Jeff that treatment. Of course, I failed, and dealing with the bureaucratic system is hard. But So Casey decided to be a nurse anesthetist. I told him, if you're going to be a nurse, go all the way. This is the last frontier. So when ketamine became available, he opened a clinic to help those with treatment-resistant depression and the condition chronic regional pain syndrome. And there's so many other things that it works for. Now, I do want to disclose that I have treatment-resistant depression, and nothing ever worked. So I was interested in learning about ketamine as well.
As an alternative to big pharma that nothing ever.
Absolutely. So it was during COVID, and here in South Carolina, we were totally open. We weren't closed down. So I didn't know what to expect as I was going to, I drove all the way to New Hampshire. I said, don't worry, I'm here, Mom's here.
Right.
He's going, Mom to the rescue.
Right.
Help him set it up because he was having a hard time getting there. Says, well, God bless New Hampshire. They were open too. And it was a blessing because Casey's business just soared right away. But that I told you, this is the difference in the generations. I have chronic pain, and of course I have treatment-resistant depression. My years of nursing, I tell people I used to pick up men for a living, and literally, I did, because, you do pick up a lot of people, and I ruined my body. Of course, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm saying my body is healing. Well, I told Casey, because he's starting out in his business, I said, I don't want you to pay me. So what does he do? He takes me to my first dispensary.
What was that like?
Well, you know what? I was curious, and I'll tell you, of course, what does he do? He posted on Facebook, I can't pay my mom in cash, so I'm treating her to her first dispensary.
Let's get her high.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny about that? My dad, when I was in my 40s, had pancreatic cancer. And he had lots of nausea. Mm-hmm. And this is funny. All my brothers and sisters did drugs except me. I was I had to be the good one at the time. I'm making up for it at this end, being more adventurous. But I knew that cannabis helped with nausea. So I go to my siblings and say, hey, where can we get some grass for Dad? And they're all like, we're not touching that. We work, yada, yada, yada. Oh, so I went to the neighborhood kid next door.
Exactly.
And I said, look, I need some, I don't know what you call it, how much I need, but I want a good quality for my dad. So he sells me some. And I go to my siblings and go, does this look like it's good quality? And they're going, all of a sudden they're these staunch,
tight-lipped.
Yeah. So I said, oh, hell. So, and my dad smoked. He never had done drugs. So I take it to him and say, Dad, here is some marijuana. We'll roll some cigarettes for you, or joints, or whatever you call them. You see, I'm ignorant on the terms. And this will help you. It will not only help your nausea, but probably can help you control your blood sugars and increase your appetite. Do you know my dad flushed it down the toilet because he thought he was going to get addicted?
Oh, poor thing.
And you know what I said? I'm terrible. This is the nurse in me. I said, Dad, you're dying. It doesn't matter if you get addicted. And you know what? It's really is good for you. So
his conditioning all his life,
it's
against
really
the law.
Yes, our government has really been awful about hiding some good qualities that some of these products have, and it's finally, love or hate Trump, he's going to change things so that we are going to have the ability to have alternative treatments. Now, Mhm.
So did your dad ever have the benefit of cannabis?
No,
Ever.
no, would not do it.
Isn't that
I was going to try
right?
it. I was going to look up recipes and bake for him. I was going to do
Uh,
whatever I could. So, but I have to tell you, I bought some CBD oil.
uh-huh.
And because I've never done drugs, and the minimum, it has to be 3% THC.
Yeah,
Or
0.3%,
lower.
yeah, of
Okay.
THC in it if
So
it's a full spectrum.
I bought some, full spectrum CBD oil,
Uh-huh.
and and it was my first high. Now here I am, because I'm very sensitive. I had never tried anything, and it was just a really weird euphoric feeling.
So
And
I got to know, where'd you get the CBD oil and who said it was CBD oil? I mean, and
well, I went
what else?
to my son says, because I'm in South Carolina, was initially in South Carolina before I went. This is even before him in New Hampshire. I went to, he said Charlotte's Web. Check out
Oh,
Charlotte's Web.
yeah. Very
Yeah.
reputable company.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I love their products.
Yeah. Their whole story about Charlotte, Fiji and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yes. So what I did was I started exploring. So here I am in New Hampshire, and I'm helping my son, and I'm meeting people in different walks of life, and they're talking about their experiences, and I started to learn about the endocannabinoid system.
Uh-huh.
And I have to tell you, I never in all my nursing years had heard about this system.
No.
And it's like, and it fascinated me.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's one of the body's major regulatory systems.
Yep. It's an ohm all throughout
Yes.
it's in our DNA.
Yes.
So, and it's what I've learned about it is one of the body's communication and balancing networks.
Oh, I've never heard it said like that. That's beautifully put.
Yeah, and it's the job to help maintain stability of mood, pain, sleep, stress response, it all. So, I wanted to look at it because of my caregivers. I have so many caregivers that are under tremendous amount of stress. And I, as a caregiver, both professionally and personally, was under a tremendous amount of stress. So I prefer, I know people, I can't smoke. I just can't do
Yep.
it. My mom died of lung cancer, so I never smoked. So my lungs, I don't know how people breathe in that stuff, because it's like, oh man, it hurts, and you have to get.
If it hurts, it's not a good product. It should
Well,
not,
see,
the
I
smoke
didn't
should
know
not
that.
hurt you. If it
Okay,
hurts to
okay.
smoke a joint, it's
Yeah.
either got pesticides in it, or the paper is not right, or it's got other compounds in it.
Right.
It wasn't properly harvested. It didn't have long enough waiting. There's so many reasons why it could hurt when you smoke, but it should never.
Honey knows, yeah, honey shows.
Hello, my friends. I'm getting ready to put my feet up by the fire and cozy up to a good book, which reminded me you should do the same with my good book. This powerfully packed, little itty bitty 120-page book is going to give you a foundation in this gentle plant therapy we all know as cannabis. Not only that, it's already been peer-reviewed by doctors and scientists and other cannabis professionals in this industry. Furthermore, you're going to find out who my favorite professionals are in this industry and how they could possibly help you, because I list those sources. You'll find out their names, their websites, what medications would be available for you, all amazing information. And it's just a couple hours read. Don't miss understanding the history, politics, science, and protocol of using cannabis safely and effectively for yourself. Anywhere you order books online. Healing Beyond High. Cannabis Truth. I was such an anxious woman, I had no idea. But when I use this, that's all gone. It's just gone. So I wanted to let you know that if you've got any kind of issues using a cannabinoid or the cannabis plant, you could get this to use for pain relief and anxiety relief and inflammatory relief. The three things I talk about most by using cannabis products. And yes, Dr. Blair also has cannabis products that he has formulated too. But this one, this is just one terpene in a liposomal form. That means you can swallow it and it's liquid and kind of tastes like caramel apples to me. So you see this girl thriving at 71. I blame this product for most of it. I hope you too go look up Dr. Blair's. It's called Able Docs Apothecary is the name of his company. You can find him at blairmedicalgroup.la as well. And the name of the product is BC Plus. BC Plus. It's so cool.
Honey knows, yeah, honey shows.
There's so many reasons why it could hurt when you smoke, but it should never. So
Well,
if
Steve,
it hurts
I
when
didn't
it
know
smokes,
that.
you ain't got the good product. And also, cannabis is a bronchodilator, so it opens up everything, and that's why doctors used to prescribe it in the 1800s for coughing and all of that because it would open up.
They also prescribed Dilaudid and morphine a lot in those days.
Oh yeah. So, but anyway,
Those were the days. But
everybody else was having a hard time.
Yeah. So my adventure with CBD, I was dog sitting for a local newscaster here in Myrtle Beach. And I said to Eric, Eric, you need to do a piece on CBD oil. It's important. It's helping people. And it's a step closer, I said, to where we need to be with regulations of cannabis and stuff. So he actually, after months of me saying, come on, Eric, do a piece, he says, well, then you have to do the interview with me.
Oh.
So I said, okay. So they came to the house and we talked about, CBD oil, what I use it for, how it helped my sleep. It helps me manage my pain. It helps me with different things. And then they took me to a doctor's office to do a test to see if I tested positive for THC. I thought, really? First of all, I'm retired. I have this website, I support caregivers and seniors and he's, aren't you worried about if it tests positive? I said, at my age, hell no. I'm not going to stop taking it because I might test positive for something. It's, it's not important to me.
Yeah.
I don't care if people want to judge me. That's on them.
Yeah.
So I did test borderline for THC with less than 3% in the product. So then I go up to New Hampshire, and Casey takes me and introduces me to these new products. And it was so funny because he goes, Mom, if you get a card, you get better quality products. If you don't, and you just go anytime, and I was like, I'm standing in, they have this dispensary. Now here I am. That was 5 years ago. So I'm in my
my Lord. Okay.
Yeah. This
5 years is like a lifetime ago as far as
I know.
the maturation of the system, and dispensaries.
Yes.
And dispensaries, did hard rock and roll real loud when you walked in?
Well, this one did not. First of all, it was, you had to go up and show your ID, and everything was, there would line out, the line out the door to get in was like really long.
All telling, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I felt like I was going into some secret dungeon that I wasn't allowed to go into. And it felt, really clandestine,
Were there other elders there in line?
Pardon me?
Were there other elders there in line?
Oh, well, what I learned about the Northeast is there's a lot of old hippies up there.
Right. Yeah, with their walkers and cannulas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Going into the dispensary. I know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My generation was the first generation, about drugs and sex and all those things. We broke records, and we're still breaking records now.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I really, I learned a lot. I used to go, and I started studying about the endocannabinoids and looking at products. And of course, I'm here in Myrtle Beach, and down south, things are a little
slower.
Slower isn't the pace. It's like bureaucrat slower. Government change slower. So, and there's still so much judgment in areas, about it. So I really was interested. I'm excited about them changing the laws.
Yeah.
I do have concerns about some things about the law being changed, and my only concern is that there are areas right now where they have open drug markets, and they're doing, all kinds of drugs, and then they get on the brink of death. They get Narcan, and then they come back. And that is not a culture I want for our country.
No.
And I want to tell you, this is funny. I've been having health issues with, they're calling it cyclical nausea and vomiting. And it's vagal nerve dysregulation. Anyway, the very first question they asked me here in the South was, are you smoking a lot of pot? Because there is they're seeing a lot of it in the ERs where you developed hyperemesis, you're vomiting because
now wait a minute. Let's talk about this. The people who are developing CHE, hyperemesis, cannabis hyperemesis, have been smoking their faces off for years to get to that point, and they're smoking the highest THC in the most concentrated forms, and they're way overexposing their ECS, their endocannabinoid system inside of them that regulates everything.
But here I am. I'm 73 years old. I'm healthy and well. And they're asking me that question, and I'm like, do I look like a druggie to you? Are my fingers stained, Yeah. It's like, but, I just laugh because I'm going, no.
Even the language they use, Diane, have you been smoking pot? That's hippie language. That's not correct language for discussing how an elder uses cannabinoids to feel better.
Yes.
Effective use of an alternative therapy. They weren't even looking at, alternative therapy. They just want to know if you're getting high.
Well, what's really sad is our doctors, our medical delivery system doesn't teach nutrition to our doctors, and they also don't teach them about the endocannabinoid system.
Well, discovered in 1992.
Right.
I feel
But you know what? They still don't know about much
That's
about
right.
it. They choose to ignore it. The medical colleges choose to not teach
Because
certain things.
scheduling of it, because of the Schedule
Yes.
1. They don't touch
Yes.
it. Grade 2. They're
Yeah.
afraid to get their federal funding yanked out from
Yes.
underneath them, and
Yes.
it
Yes.
would have been.
Yes.
So,
And
right.
that's about to change. And I'm excited about that because there'll be research studies now. There'll be
They've already started.
Oh, I know that, but there's going to be a whole hell of a lot more.
Do you know that Boston School of Pharmacy now has a master's in cannabinoidology, and there's also a school in California, University in California, and I think one in Arizona that are now doing cannabinoidology masters. So the universities are opening up. They even did that before the schedule changing. So I'm glad, they finally found their balls. And,
yes. And I'm that's necessary. In fact, I want you to know my son's a nurse anesthetist. Okay, so he's got this ketamine clinic, and it's very impressive. He just went back to school to get his. He's now a nurse practitioner for psychiatry.
Oh, cool!
Because he wants to explore psychedelic psychiatry.
Good.
And I'm learning so much from him about that. I find it fascinating.
Yeah. Like LSD is less harmful to you than an aspirin.
Yep. And
like mushrooms will really help you through your shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny. When I was driving from Myrtle Beach, I was going to go through DC because I don't know if you know this or not, but in DC, you can buy mushrooms.
Yeah. I love
But you have to buy it via you're buying a card. You're not buying the product. I mean, it's all
Aren't they
silly.
stupid, those politicians? Cannabis first came into DC when they began allowing cannabis. You couldn't buy cannabis.
Yes.
Sell it. So street vendors would sell a T-shirt and give you a bag of cannabis with it.
Exactly. I mean, the workaround is ridiculous.
It is.
And I really get a kick out of Casey because I was talking to him the other day because, MDMA was already supposed to be MDMA was already supposed to be therapy assisted MDMA was already supposed to be out last year.
Available, right?
Yes, but a psychiatrist took advantage of his patients sexually, and he ruined the whole study. So they had to go back and start over again.
Was that out in Oregon?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it screwed it up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in that because everybody tells me, oh, you'll fall in love, la. Well, that's nice. I want to do it. And I was going to do mushrooms, but Casey says to me, I said, so Casey, are you excited about all this stuff? And he goes, well, now that I know more about it, Mom, he goes, it's funny. He goes, the mushroom, the therapy-assisted mushroom
experience
the experience is actually it's a 6-hour long trip. And
that's taking a big dose of mushrooms to do something like that. When you microdose mushrooms, you don't go through that whole spiritual
Well, that's good to know because I was confused because he was all excited about this. And he goes, Mom, they're doing 6 hours. And he goes, I just laughed because he says, I don't want to help somebody through 6 hours of a bad trip if they experienced that. And then I'm laughing because I'm thinking, you have no idea what dementia caregivers go through when their family members are at home and they're sundowning and acting out. So
it's true. Oh my God. It's
all relative, but so
the whole 6-hour thing, you have to stay with that patient. You can't leave.
Yes, 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 yes.
And that's
yes.
paying a person to stay with the client,
Yes,
so
yes,
it's
yes.
a big deal.
Yes,
And
it's
the
very,
client
very
has to feel
expensive.
safe because you're set and setting for doing a
Yep.
mushroom trip
Yep.
or LSD or anything that's
Yep.
going to alter your brain so much is really important. You really have to trust the person who's going to take you on that journey.
Yes, yes. You
So,
really do. You
yeah.
absolutely do.
I love what your
And-
son is doing.
Well, you know what? This is funny because I go here in Myrtle Beach, not my son's clinic, he's in New Hampshire, for ketamine therapy. And I go, I try to go every other month. I'm doing well. I had to go. The problem with me is you have to ask for a ride. And you have to ask for, you have to have somebody pick you up and drive you home.
Okay.
And that's a personal growth issue for me. I just hate asking people depending on them. But so I go for my treatment. And I have to tell you, my ketamine has changed my life. It's lifted the black cloud off of me. And but they said, do you want to take oral? Because I do the IM. I can't afford the IV, and the IMs do fine. I don't want to do. Oh, intramuscular, a shot.
Okay.
So, but I have to tell you, my ketamine treatment is very surreal. The very first treatment I had, I asked my son Casey to sit in with me. And his buddy did it, who's a nurse anesthetist. And I had, first of all, Casey gives propofol. God, gotta love mother's milk. Propofol, that it's just calming, relaxing. So he starts you out right. And then, but when I went under, I have this zoom, zoom, zoom. I have an auditory hallucination, and it sounds like a large fan or something going. Anyway, I felt like I was flying, and there was mountains, snow-covered mountains everywhere. And I reached out and I touched a part, and it opened up. And I felt my mom's presence. And it was like, oh my gosh, and I could feel love, and it just felt good because I miss her so much every day.
Makes me pucker up and want to cry at it.
It really did. And then this is really weird. I touched another area and it opens up and there's this log. And at one end are embers and at the other end is a strong fire. And that was Jeffrey and Casey, my sons. Jeffrey had passed and it was like that significance. And every time I go for an experience, I have an intention of something I want to work on.
Oh.
And one of the things that I learned is that I actually went on the anniversary of his birthday. And he's been gone 14 years now. And what I learned was that if you go in with an intention, you can work through some things. And I have complicated grief. All that is the medical delivery system saying you loved really hard and you're missing. You're going to have a huge hole in your heart for forever. I mean, it just doesn't change. But when you go in, when I'm in the zone, the K-hole, as they call it, which makes me giggle that I know what that is at my age, my body is totally numb. Oh. Totally numb. You feel nothing. And it's really weird because you can, If somebody comes into the room, you can wake up and talk to them and respond to them, but you don't feel anything. And so I went in with a very strong, I was feeling grief and sadness. It's Jeff's birthday and I'm missing him. And I literally could feel tears coming down my face. It was weird. In fact, I go to, this is so silly. I go to wipe the tears off and I hit my face because you can't feel your body.
Can't feel your body.
And I love that because for a day or two, my pain all over my body subsides. Oh. The other thing that benefits people that they don't know, they don't talk about a lot, is ketamine enhances your immune system. It has so many other good properties for you. And I can tell you, since I've been taking it, I don't get colds. I don't get sick with things if I go on a consistent basis. So
how much does it cost?
Well,
and how often do you do it?
Well, there are varying things, varying cost points. I was paying $150 for an injection, which is affordable. The bastard doctor raised it up to $175, which I didn't even care about that. But now I have to pay a subscription of $9.99 a month just to be able to get the discounted rate. So I'm paying more now than I was before, and I have no benefits. See no benefit other than that I need it for me.
And insurance won't pay for it?
No.
Why not?
Well, you know what? I will tell you right now, insurance, honey, we only have the illusion of health care. We no longer have health care.
We have the real picture of sick care. It's the American medical sick care system.
Yes, well, it really, and they have moved to a cost-sharing plan. So you're going to have to pay more out of pocket for anything you want. So that's why we're going to see, right now we have a public health crisis, a really serious one. We have more seniors than youth. We have nobody to take care of our seniors. Our youth are our tax base and workforce. So they're cutting back on what we're going to pay for and how we're going to pay for it. So there's going to be that's why doctors are moving to concierge services, and people in healthcare profession, consumers are going to have to pay for concierge everything. They're actually even going to physical therapy via telehealth.
Yes, I know that to be true. I have a very good friend who's in that.
So, and the family caregiver, we have 63 million family caregivers in the country. And that's going to double in the next 5 years because the boomers are coming. And what's happened to the medical delivery system, the reimbursement, Obamacare brought us to our knees because the reimbursement is so low that nursing homes are closing, small community hospitals are closing. And we also have another crisis that nobody's talking about, the nursing industry. Now, we don't have a shortage of nurses. We have a shortage of nurses who don't want to work in unsafe conditions. But the baby boomers nurses are retiring. And the younger generation doesn't want to put up with. They actually are asking, do I want to put my health on hold? Do I want to be abused by patients and management? I mean, they're working 12-hour shifts. Yeah. And, while they want to pay food workers, $25 or $30 an hour, the poor nurses here in South Carolina, and other parts of the country, some of them are only making $30 an hour in ICU.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And the funds aren't there.
Such a specialized and stressful arena.
Yes. So, I want to talk about, you introduced me to Dr. Blair's.
Dr. Philip Blair.
yes, beta carotene,
Yep.
say beta carophylline.
Close. Beta caryophyllene.
Awfully, thank you. I knew I'd get that right.
We call it BCP for short, but Dr.
Yes.
Blair made BC Plus his product.
Yes.
Go
Well,
ahead.
I want to tell you, I looked into that because I wanted to see what it does. And I am, and because people go, oh, I don't want to take anything with THC. It's going to make me high. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I found that this product not only does not create a high, but it activates the CB2 receptors that regulate inflammation, immune balance, pain signaling, and a lot of other things. So I am just loving learning about this product.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I
Yes.
don't want to live without it, Diane. I don't consider that I live in a stressful situation anymore. I don't. But all my life previous to moving up to Michigan, my body was in fight or flight all my life, and I didn't realize that I was in anger.
Mine too.
And
Yes.
so when I got up here and things started settling down, and I found Dr. Blair's BC Plus, I began using that and instantly realized, oh my Lord, this is what calm feels like.
Yes.
I had no idea what calm nervous system felt like until I used BC Plus. The cannabis helped me tremendously to expand my mind, to help my heart heal, to help my body heal, but it didn't take the anxiety away like this product does.
Yes.
And the other benefit of this product is that it also takes away pain and inflammation.
Yes.
The miraculous triad there, the anxiety, pain, and inflammation, that is exactly what cannabis works on. But oh my Lord, this stuff.
That is now, along with my ketamine and some of my CBD oils, that is another tool in my toolkit. And I am learning about it more and more. And I even bought the topical one that to try, because right now I have bone on bone knee.
Yeah.
Pain. And I've got, the years of nursing, like I said, I've got bad back, bad neck. I fell from a horse and got a bad shoulder. At 73, I'd be fine as long as they could just fillet me, take out my spine, and put everything new in, all my bones, and give me a new body.
Right.
But they can't. So it's actually helping me to delay total knee surgery, because I did orthopedics for years, and everybody around me is having total knees, and I'm like, I don't like what all the results are.
No.
And the other thing is, honey, is I'm busy. I got things to do and people to see. The rehab is so long. The recovery. So I don't want to do that, but I'm excited about the new changes in the scheduling for cannabis. I think that future generations are going to benefit from it, thanks to the boomers having to. Oh, I wasn't one of those boomers, but
I know, but I was.
Yeah, I wasn't. I had to be the responsible adult. So, but I'm open to learning, and I'm not afraid to try. And I can't wait for MDMA to be available so I can have a session. Everybody tells me how wonderful that is.
Me too. Everybody tells me how wonderful that is. I would like to tell you what my sources are telling me about the cannabis scheduling. I'd just like to put it on the...
Great. Thank you.
So many people are still confused about what happened with the new schedule change. And so for the first time in modern American history, the federal government is officially acknowledging that cannabis has accepted medical value. That is the emotional and historical headline, really, that cannabis can help us. And so it's no longer being treated entirely like, it's heroin under law. And so the medical context, as you mentioned, now we're going to open up for all kinds of testing. And so the Schedule 3 category, let me tell you the difference, our audience.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Federal category for drugs considered to have no accepted medical use, high abuse potential, severe restrictions on research. So, of course, you can't get any of them. But Schedule 3 is the new category that cannabis has been put in, recognized as medical use, can legally be researched and prescribed under federal systems. Now, that's a big one for doctors because our doctors have been ignoring cannabis because it's a Schedule 1 and they just don't want to mess with it. Plus, it's a live plant. They don't know anything about it. They don't know about our endocannabinoid system, and so there's a lot to learn, and they're thinking like, ugh, going back for all that, how long is that going to take? How much money is that going to cost? I've already got my practice set up. I'm already okay. So,
well, the other issue is the DEA is really cracking down on pain medications. And what we're seeing is like, I can't take pain medication. So that's why I'm open to anything that may relieve my pain. And I really take issue with the fact that doctors are frightened, terrified to write a script for a pain med. And because the DEA is going to may come after them. And they feel threatened, and the other issue that I take, other concern that I have is that, we get mixed messages. We have, free Narcan for people ODing all over the country and letting them to re-abuse, and yet our nothing pisses me off more when they say to me, pee in a cup. Well, first of all, I refuse to take any medication. I can't take it, and I will not be treated like a criminal.
See? It's our attitudes. It's our societal attitude that must change.
Yes. And I'm 73. If I want to do something that's going to improve my body and you don't like it, that's for me to make that judgment, not you. And I think government involvement has screwed up so many things in our lives. And I'm really glad that they have made it a Schedule 3 because I think future generations are definitely going to benefit from it.
Yeah. There is an important clarification, and it is not fully legalized yet. It's
okay.
Recreational cannabis is still Schedule 1.
You know what? Only the government. Only the government.
The current federal move mainly applies. Pardon me, got a little frog in my throat. State licensed medical cannabis is Schedule 3, and FDA approved cannabis products. Now, FDA hadn't approved any cannabis products.
Well, the only cannabis product that I have given since the 70s is a little tiny pill called Marinol.
Yeah. Okay.
Appetite stimulant. But, hey, we also, before that, we would do a couple ounces of spirits of fermente as a shot glass of whiskey. That's the dark ages of nursing.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I love the direction that it's going now. It means, the law opening up at least a little bit of it for the doctor's sake.
Yes.
The doctor's psyche, for them to wrap their heads around cannabis, real medicine.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to learn about it, or if they don't want to prescribe it or whatever, they don't have to, but they're going to be left in the
Yeah.
end of.
Well, the other thing that I like is that like products like the BCP are that have, are non-addictive. They don't make you high. As a result of research, is also going to make a difference. And I think that is huge.
Teachers, policemen, surgeons,
Yes,
flight,
yes,
air traffic controllers. Those people
Yeah.
with the highest tense jobs can use
Yes.
BC plus,
Yes.
the beta caryophylline product,
Exactly.
and not be bothered by any of the cannabis mess.
Yes.
And
I
then
don't
cannabis
have,
is still there for your off times.
Pain pills make me vomit.
Oh.
And I mean, they always have. I mean, even Darva said, since I've been young, I've always had that violent response. So when I find a product that is easy to take, it's easily digestible, and it's not unpleasant, and that it works for me, I'm all about it.
Me too. It's a show it again. It's a wonderful little product, and I love it. Love it. Let's see. We are two women in our 70s and enjoying life immensely, and too damn busy to be bothered with broken body parts.
Exactly.
So these alternative medicines that we utilize are really effective. Cannabis is incredibly effective. You don't have to be afraid of it, but you do need to do your research, figure out, what your issues are and what your intentions are going to be with the product, because it's a mind thing. Yeah. These chemicals are going to help your mind.
And your body and your immune system. In fact, I wrote a little booklet, everything you wanted to know about ketamine but were afraid to ask. It's just a little book on my website. I have a lot of different books, but I really embrace ketamine, and I embrace alternative treatments. So I'm looking forward to having you on my podcast to share with the general public, those that know nothing about it, but are interested in what's going on.
Fabulous. You got a deal. How can our audience get in touch with you to talk more about ketamine and to find your little booklet?
My website is www.caregiverrelief.com.
Perfect.
And you can reach me at Diane at caregiverrelief.com. And don't hesitate to email me. I'm here to help in any way I can. In fact, I have an Ask the Experts section. So you have a question and you want to be anonymous or you feel uncomfortable, do it through there, because if I don't know the answer, I sure as hell can find the answer for you.
Oh, Diane, you're so much fun to hang out with. I love being with you, darling, and your experiences are so wonderful to hear about. Thank you for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to have been here, and I love you, honey. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you even better.
Long friendship, girlfriend.
Yep, it's going to be, baby. All right, have a good day.
We'll see you
Bye.
next time, and I can't wait to do your show.
I can't wait either. Okay.
Take care, love. I'll talk
Bye.
to you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to another Cannabis Truth Podcast with 21st century cannabis shaman Honey Smith Walls. Using cannabis mindfully as medication is a different concept in Western healthcare philosophy, specifically over the past century. There's a lot to learn and reconsider. The scientific truth of cannabis is finally getting out and is wide open for all to see at respected medical sites like the National Library of Medicine at pubmed.gov. and the Journal of American Medical Association at JAMAnetwork.com. We here at the Cannabis Truth Podcast are right there in the thick of it, alongside the titans of medicine, as a fly on the wall. We are not doctors, nor did we go to medical school, but we have taken dozens of private cannabis courses and still engage in continuing education offered by expert cannabis scientists. Over the past few years, we slowly began to see and understand the bigger picture. Now we hear from people all day long about cannabis. It is so important to use verifiably safe products. The process of getting a diagnosis from your family doctor and taking your records to a cannabis specialist can lead you to the correct cannabinoid therapy for your specific issues. Otherwise, you're simply your own guinea pig looking for answers without the foundational knowledge or ability to determine your best strategy. To find a qualified cannabis expert in your area, visit cannabisclinicians.org. This is a national society of cannabis experts. Look for the link in the show notes. Unless otherwise proven by a reputable third-party lab test, please regard all street weed as contaminated. It may do grave harm to a patient with a delicate immune system who already has inflammatory issues like arthritis, IBS, fibromyalgia, or worse. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you find value and understanding through the conversations you've heard on this podcast.
She walked in with wisdom and a fire in her eyes, talking plant truth where the silence lies. From the roots to the bloom, she saw the light. Now she's teaching folks how to heal it right. Not afraid to challenge the tale of lazy myths and a system that failed. She's got science in one hand, stories in the other. Lifts up the voices they tried to smother. Honey knows, honey grows. Truth in the soil and love in the smoke. Speaking for the elders and the ones left behind. She's the shaman of the leaf with a warrior's mind. Yeah, honey knows. Digital waves. She's breaking down fear with every word she says. Cannabis truth, that's her battle cry. For the mamas and papas still scared to try. She ain't selling hype, she's serving facts. Taking big pharma to school with class. With a mic and a mission, she lights the way. The lost and the curious every day. Honey knows, honey grows. Truth in the bud and peace in the dose. Teaching the plant like a sacred art. From the ECS to the beating heart. Yeah, honey knows. Lifted by the plant, giving voice to the ones who thought they can. A sister, a sage in a world